Hey guys, welcome. So I'm going to talk a bit about the Emerald Tablet of Thoth. So if you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen a few of my videos where I'm going around a lot of churches and cathedrals and describing the symbolism. And I sometimes talk about how I believe that Hermetic beliefs and Hermetic systems of awakening, initiation, are hidden in the symbols of the churches. So today we're going to go right to the source of Hermetic wisdom and look at the teachings of Thoth, or sometimes known as Hermes, Trismegistus. So who is Thoth? Thoth is I think it's the ibis god from ancient Egypt. It's the bird god with the long pointed beak from ancient Egypt. I believe it's an ibis. And Thoth is also Hermes. I believe Hermes was the Greek name, I'm not entirely sure, but Hermes Trismegistus is also Thoth. And the idea is that Thoth had three incarnations, and I believe, I'm not quite sure the order, but I think Hermes Trismegistus was his third incarnation, and Trismegistus means 3 times magician. And I think this points to that he had 3 incarnations, but also he mentions that it's something to do with the Trinity, I believe, the threefold nature of his teachings. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the translation of the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, particularly Tablet 3. So the Emerald Tablets of Thoth were, I believe, discovered under one of the Great Pyramids in Mexico, one of the Aztec or Mayan pyramids in Mexico, one of the step pyramids. And the story goes that they originally came from Egypt, I believe, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, they were discovered some years ago under the Mexican pyramids, and they are said to be written on an impermeable material, a material that is completely immortal and undamageable, that was created through alchemy. And these are real tablets. They are known by historians. I don't know whether they'd agree they are made of an immortal substance, but the substance they're made of, it's like a green sort of emerald coloured material. And so this is where the name the Emerald Tablets of Thoth comes from. So what we're going to do today, we're going to skip straight to Tablet 3. I suggest you perhaps do a little bit of research yourself. If you go to the source I'm reading the tablets from today is crystallinks.com. So if you search for Crystallinks, CRYSTALINKS.com, and go to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and you could perhaps read up on tablets 1 and 2 yourself. It's a bit of a background of who Thoth is, where he came from, and how this came into being. But the wisdom teachings begin really on Tablet 3, so we're going to skip right into Tablet 3 today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you perhaps the first half of the tablet, and maybe do a second part of this video, and I'll read it directly and then give my perspective of what the teachings are meaning, are showing us. So, Tablet 3, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, the Key of Wisdom. I, Thoth, the Atlantean, give my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power, freely I give to the children of men. So, I, Thoth, the Atlantean, so the idea is that Thoth of ancient Egypt originally came from Atlantis, and so the idea of the Atlantean civilization that descended under the flood around 12,600 years ago, or 11,600 years ago, something like this. And the idea is that Atlantis became corrupt, basically. It was a high civilization of high magic, high spiritual evolution, and it reached the pinnacle of really evolution for that cycle. But unfortunately, dark magicians and self-serving materialistic beings who are seeking power were corrupted by higher demonic, negative self-serving entities, and the darkness crept into Atlantis. And eventually God ordained that the time for the darkness of Atlantis was to fall, and Atlantis was destroyed under the Great Flood. But the idea is that there was a high temple where a few of the pure beings that had really transcended the highest teachings and stayed in pure love and light and were uncorruptible survived. And one of these beings was Thoth, and he set out to ancient Egypt to share his wisdom. And the story goes that he reached ancient Egypt. I believe he went in a flying saucer. I think it talks about this in tablet 1 or 2, so you can read this yourself. So Thoth left Atlantis. The way he says it, he ascended into the heavens and like flew. So it sounds like he was in some sort of spacecraft. And he came over to land in Egypt, where like the humans were very, unevolved, sort of cavemen, beards and all stuff like this, sort of. And they all started trying to kill him, throwing spears at him, but he like put his staff down and like froze them all in their steps because he was so powerful and magical, and he was coming in pure love and like to help them. He was able to do this, and they all bowed down in terror and panic and started groveling in front of his feet, and he let them go. And from here they obviously worshipped him as a god, and he used this opportunity to share the wisdom teachings of Atlantis, which was his mission, to share the wisdom teachings of love and light and oneness. And the law of one, perhaps we could call it, although that's not what Thoth calls it. So, Thoth the Atlantean. So Thoth has come from Atlantis, and he was probably in Egypt when he wrote this, but we're not sure. So, give of my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power. Freely I give to the children of men. So the children of men are like us, the unevolved humans, the people, that believe, they're just physical beings living a physical reality. So we could perhaps call them like the regular people today who don't believe in spirituality and that. So freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. So Thoth has come to the children of men. Perhaps we could call them barbarians. Not the high, because Thoth was extremely highly evolved soul, like way more evolved than any entity on Earth at present, I believe. Certainly in his capability of magic and affecting reality. So freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom. So the wisdom of Atlantis, the wisdom of the law of one, we might call it, the wisdom of the eternal wisdom of the Creator, the one wisdom teaching of all ages, the truth that pervades all religion and all spiritual teachings. This is the wisdom that Thoth points to. The wisdom of the light, the love and the light of creation. So freely I give to the children of men, give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. So what he's saying here, so when we hear the word night in these sort of teachings, it represents the darkness, the darkness that humanity is in at the minute, that we've descended into, the belief, that we need to live in fear and compete and struggle and strife and be greedy and selfish and war. What humanity's going through at the minute is we are living through a period of the night, and we are dawning, we're coming to the period of the dawning, but certainly the past 1,000 years we've been living through the night, the darkness of creation, war, struggle, strife, grief, pain, suffering, the human experience put on the news today, and that is the night. So freely I give to the children of men, give that they too might have wisdom of the light, wisdom of the love, light, knowledge of the divine Creator, the one wisdom teaching of all ages that exists in all true religions, all true spiritual teachings. Give that they too might have this wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. So to ignite this light within the self, so we can use this wisdom to rise up to the heights of thought, to the heights of love and light and unity consciousness. Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole. So it's saying that wisdom is power. When we learn the wisdom of Thoth's teaching, when we learn the wisdom of the divine teachings of all ages, when we learn this wisdom, as we are doing now, as we begin to learn this wisdom, we begin to gain in power, the power of the love and the light, the power to create our reality through our vibrational state, and the power to spread the love and the light and the divine message through humanity. It says wisdom is power, power is wisdom. And it's also saying, so wisdom is power and power is wisdom. So it's also saying that the wisdom is this power that creates our reality, this power that unites us all in love and light. This is the wisdom. So the wisdom emanates from the power, but the wisdom we learn can also take us back into that power, the power of oneness, the power of unity consciousness, and the power of God. Wisdom is power, power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole. So I guess it's saying that there is no separation. It's like, perhaps as above, so below. It's all like macrocosm and microcosm. It's all reflecting back and forth. It's all one. Wisdom is power, power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole. There is only oneness, there is only unity. Be thou not proud, O man, in thy wisdom. So it's reminding us that as we rise in wisdom, we don't get like what some people might call spiritual ego. We don't get do not be proud in our wisdom. Do not be like, oh, I'm so wisdom. I've got the wisdom of God. I can create my reality. I'm great. Look at me. I manifested £1 million. It's like saying don't fall into that trap, because that's the ego that's going to draw you back into darkness. This is what destroyed Atlantis, the ego, the selfishness, the power, that sort of proudness, the negative proudness. So it's warning us, don't get proud in our wisdom. Stay humble, like the Buddhists so often remind us. Stay humble in this power. Because what we find is, and you might have experienced this yourself, you begin to grow in wisdom and you begin to grow in power, and your ego grows and you're like, look at me, I can manifest this, and all of a sudden you get drop kicked by God, as Muji would say. It's like God, basically if you get egoic in this power. And I sort of experienced this myself. My ego crept in through my recent awakening contact experience, and God gave me a kick up the butt. So don't get proud in wisdom, otherwise you will be. It's like I found a message in my friend's drawer when I was staying at his flat. It said, do not get ahead of yourself or your ego is sure to get bust. He obviously wrote that for himself, but that was a sign to me, just a reminder, don't get ahead of yourself or you will get bust. You will get, God will destroy you if you get arrogant in your power and this wisdom. This is about love and light and being humble and seeing that we're all one and no one is better than the other. We're all equal because we're all the same consciousness. Discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all. And this is what it's saying, discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. Do not get arrogant. Do not get proud in your power and your wisdom. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken for truth. So I guess this is saying that sometimes we're not sure if we should focus on the negative. We might be in a conference, say a spiritual conference, and someone comes to the stage and they're speaking evil. What they're saying is not true. And something inside says, be humble, don't speak out, just be spiritual, just stay centered and small. And sometimes people, get this idea that spiritual just means being quiet and don't say anything. But Thoth is saying, no, if you're like at a conference and there's someone on the stage and he starts speaking ignorance, it's our duty to speak up, no matter what's going to happen to us. We can't let people be brainwashed with evil. It's been happening for too long on this planet. It's too dangerous. So speak up if you hear someone speaking evil. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken for truth. Like the sunlight shines above all. Yeah, it's like saying, stand above them. The sunlight shines above all. If there's someone like say George Bush as an example, because he was quite negative, certainly in the past, creating war in Iraq, or someone who represents evil to you, it's like, or you're at a big stand and there's we'll say what's the current president? I can't remember his name. But someone, you're at a big stadium and like the prime minister, and they're speaking evil, and what it's saying is, keep thou not silent when evil is spoken truth. Like the sunlight shines above all. What it's saying is, don't let them dominate you. Don't let the evil, like politicians that are trying to instill fear into the population and manipulate and control for their own power and gains. And they're stood on a stage and they're like trying to dominate. They're trying to dominate us. This is what everyone does. This is what Obama did so well. He tried to dominate and control. He's saying, no, we are higher than them. The light is higher than them. They are serving the darkness. And it's saying, so keep thou not silent when evil is spoken for truth, like the sunlight shines above all. So it's our duty as missionaries of the light, when evil is spoken, to stand up above them and don't let these fear instilling beings instill fear into us and keep us small. It's our job to shine higher than them like the light and show them that they are the lowly beings, for they are the darkness and they are the lowly scum. So stand above these evil politicians and say, no, you are the scum. I am above you. I am the light. I am the love. But do not get proud. So, he who oversteppeth the law shall be punished, for only through law comes the freedom of men. Cause thou not fear, for fear is a bondage, a fetter that binds the darkness to men. So I guess it's here saying like focus on the laws of creation run your life by the laws of creation, we could perhaps look at Bashar's example of the laws of creation here. So, number 1, you exist. Number 2, the one is the all is the one. Number 3, everything exists here and now. Number 4, what you put out is what you get back. Number 5, everything changes except the first 4 laws. So these are the only laws of creation, as I understand it. These are the laws of creation, and these govern all. So, like, what you put out is what you get back. The law of karma, the law of attraction. So he who oversteppeth the law shall be punished. So if you start doing negative things, you will get negative things come back to you. So for only through law comes the freedom of men. So always focus everything you do back on this law of creation. How are we doing for battery life? Can you see the battery sign?
Flashing red, Charlie.
Okay. so look, we're going to come to an end, and we'll come up to part 2 soon. So for only through law comes the freedom of men. So we need to focus on this law, the law of attraction. Understand what we put out is what we get back. Understand that we are immortal, eternal beings. Understand we are all one. Understand that everything is impermanent. Everything changes. Nothing lasts forever. Cause thou not fear, for fear is a bondage, a fetter that binds the darkness to men. So this is like Bashar says, like, all fears are untrue, all fears are out of perspective. We need to transcend fear. Fear keeps us locked in the darkness. Fear keeps us able to be controlled through these negative, self-serving politicians and the like. So we have to transcend fear. This is what we're saying. So perhaps that's a good place to end this first segment on the Emerald Tablet 3, the law of Thoth, the law of one, the law of unity. So, see you in part 2. Have a great day, guys. Bye.